The news tonight, the law catches up with fakers of products. 4 in NAFDAC's net. Older Nigerians decry poor welfare condition, want younger Nigerians to utilize their experiences. Residents of Lagos react to the full autonomy for local governments as the National Assembly amended and sports. Thanks for joining us on the NTA2 News at 7. I am Elizabeth. The National Agency for Foods and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has apprehended 4 suspects for producing and distributing fake. Investigation and Enforcement of NAFDAC, Kingsley Ejiofor, at a media briefing in Lagos, says the fight against fake and adulterated foods and drugs in Nigeria should not be left to NAFDAC alone, but required full cooperation of Nigerians.
Leading 2 out of the 4 alleged suspects for offences ranging from counterfeiting of cosmetics, illegal manufacture of unregistered Timboro yogurt, and obstructing officers from performing their duties. 2 of the arrested suspects are still in police custody and are alleged to be distributing and selling counterfeit Derica tomato paste. The head of investigation and enforcement of NAFDAC, Kingsley Ejiofor, said the alleged suspects were apprehended following a tip-off by members of the public.
We know that Christmas is around the corner. This is the embargo. We should not do that at the expense of our health.
Kingsley Ejiofor added that the agency is not discouraging Nigerians from legitimate production but will not allow counterfeit products to circulate, which will in turn pose health threats to the citizenry.
And we know what dairy products are, the danger they pose, especially when they are not well handled.
He said that efforts is in top gear through the synergy with security operatives to mop up counterfeit products from the food value chain in Nigeria.
NAFDAC says it will not rest on its oars until it ensures it rids the country of NTA News.
Another fire incident occurred early this morning at Alfred Rewani Road in Ikoyi, affecting a storey building. Musa Tola visited the scene of the fire incident.
It was discovered that the affected one-story building was not the Federal Marriage Registry as earlier reported in some media, but the one belonging to the Legion. Although both buildings are located within the same premises and adjacent to each other, normal wedding activities were seen going on at the registry. The fire, which completely razed down the top floor of the building, was said to have occurred around 4 a.m. However, while the occupiers of the building continued to count their losses, this woman who operates her business on the ground floor was thankful.
My boutique has swelled. So at this moment, I cannot quantify it to any much.
According to an eyewitness account, no lives was lost in the inferno. The cause of the Musa Tolia, NTA News.
There are calls on the federal government to be allowed to compromise actions with breach of contract. This is a stand of discussants on the NTA's current affairs program. Talato Ezerike reports.
Discussants say ceasefire agreement is not a one-off thing but a process that has been on. Has good intention with the agreement, top of which is the release of the abducted Chibok girls and restoration of peace, even though some had reservations with the ceasefire that could send wrong signals.
The insecurity, the loss of territory, the human rights abuses that
the ceasefire was brokered. We said it has been released openly, giving speculation because all the strings attached and the fundamentals of the negotiations were not open.
All the speakers added their voices.
Even when we have the ceasefire, the conditions should be clear. You should be prepared to actually be, not just be on your guard, to even hit harder. Either they are suffering or they need time to recoup arms and personnel.
in case if this girl comes back tomorrow or next tomorrow, what is the orientation package that they actually have to have a plan to give them that mental support?
The stock of federal government's effort, which discussants say a lot is being done, and more still with post-insurgency rebuilding and reorientating minds. In Abuja, Tolat Ezerike, NTA News.
Nigeria has received a request from the United States Centers for Control to participate in the development of a vaccine for the Ebola virus disease. This was disclosed by the Director General, Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Professor Innocent Uja in Lagos. Abdullahi Muhammad reports.
Yes, the chain of transmission of Ebola disease is broken and Nigeria is Ebola virus disease free. So says the World Health Organization, WHO. But Innocent Uja, Nigeria cannot fold its hands but go back to the laboratory.
And look at the experimental drugs that we are talking about. And also start to partner and collaborate with other organizations, agencies and other countries in areas of vaccine development, because this is very, very important. What we have done was an emergency national response. What it means is that if we problem.
And Nigeria's success in containing the spread of the virus has attracted interest in form of an invitation to partner the United States Center for Disease Control in the process of developing a vaccine against the Ebola virus disease.
We have responded to the request from US CDC Atlanta for from them and also from the Federal Ministry of Health. But we at the Research Treatment Group have reviewed the experimental vaccine they talked about, and we believe that Nigeria should participate.
Nigeria is also extending a helping hand to some of the West African countries in their effort to stamp out the dreaded Ebola virus disease. In Lagos, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
An all-round national development is achievable only when the social, economic and intellectual potential of older persons are tapped and utilized. This view was expressed at this year's International Day of Older Persons with the theme, Leaving No One Behind, Promoting a Society for All.
From all walks of life to commemorate a day set aside for them to be appreciated and celebrated. These senior citizens of life came to the program to chart a new cause, demanding for the rise to welfare. Guest lecturer Professor Pat Utomi, who was represented at the event, spoke on the topic, Senior Citizens are the meaningful part of the democratic process.
Our old people have a lot of it. So you should not limit yourself to going to a police station, casting your votes, and that is the end.
Thereafter, fans aired their views on various challenges confronting the aged in the country.
Once you have retired, you cannot get to the hospital and say you want free medical treatment. It's not even easy for you to see the doctor.
You pay exorbitant fees for medication.
Organizers of the event say the need to bring to the fore the discrimination and social exclusion of the elderly was the focus of the gathering.
We have to bring to the fore what the elder people have been doing, what they want, how they want it.
And we are saying the senior citizen factored into all the plans of any nation.
For the Secretary General, the most important is to include government and non-governmental sector, youth, civil society, to not forget elderly people. And we are really happy as the United Nations to join forces and call on others to pay attention to elderly and not to forget them.
Chairman of the occasion, Dr. Michael Omolayoli, however, charged governments as.
And I don't feel happy at all seeing senior citizens, especially pensioners, being treated rough. Decent ways of finding out whether people are alive or not. They don't have to be subjected to harrowing experiences.
The older people need to be very alert to their responsibility to remind everybody about our culture, our history. I'm very concerned that in the schools now, history has been relegated to part of social...
On 14 December 1990, it is estimated that the population of people above 60 years could reach 1.4 billion by the year 2030. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
One of the platforms created schools. While cultural and social bridges have been built across the country, the old students of the school are worried that the security challenges in the criteria for admission of students have continued to defeat the purpose of setting up the school.
These men and women have all made their marks in their different chosen profession, but what prepared them to achieve their dreams, they say, was the Unity Schools. The fact that they all came from them a sense of belonging.
There was a very good mix That was the single most important thing I'll say I took out of that school. It was a very good mix of Hausas, Igbos, and all the minorities. In fact, there were South Africans who came to attend Federal Government College. So you had a world view. You knew that Igbos didn't have horns. You knew that Igbos didn't eat people. You knew that Hausas were not primitive people.
When we now left school, I mean, you didn't think that there was any difference between a Christian and a Muslim because they are your best friends already. So when we see the kind of thing that is happening now, the kind of stereotyping that is going on, it's quite strange. Because then, I mean, like I said, he has to be your best friend because he has something he can do for you.
However, all these sweet memories are beginning to be part of history as the old students lament the dwindling fortunes of Unity School's security situation and the deterioration of the school's facilities, the situation which they also say affects educational systems across the country. The old students say they will sustain their partnership with government to restore the old glories of the Unity Schools.
The quality of education and the kind of sorority and fraternity that existed when the federal government colleges were running very well still exists in this country, in the private schools. It is not fair. It owes us a responsibility to ensure that
all academic activities have resumed in Unity Schools nationwide. In Lagos, Lynn NTA News.
This is the NTA2 News at 7. More stories ahead after this commercial break. Stay with us.
It's free.
It's open week. 8 new channels open up for free to all subscribers.
Wow! All subscribers? You mean old and new?
Yes, including dormant subscribers. You don't need to recharge your decoder to enjoy the newest 8 channels on Star Times for 7 days.
Just turn on your decoder from the 10th of November and start enjoying top-of-the-moment channels free.
Get the feel of these great channels. Dadin Kora, Cool TV, Wazobia TV, and many more.
This is amazing!
This is mind-blowing!
Join 8 new channels free for 7 days.
Open week starts 10th November and ends 16th November 2014.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe. Refer anybody coming into Nigeria from any other West African country to a hospital for proper medical screening. And watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Women of Owu.
To use us as dogs.
Date October 20 to 26, 2014. Venue National Theatre. Time 12 noon and students 500 now. Adults 1,000 now. Question and answer session follows after each performance. Women of Owu, come, watch and learn.
Welcome back. You're still watching NTA2 News at 7. The National Assembly has approved financial and administrative autonomy for all the 774 local governments in the country by amending Section 124 of the 1999 Constitution. This makes a consequential provision for making the council a full third tier of government without unnecessary interference from the state governments. Here,
considering what is happening in local governments, which state governments exercise authority over them, what made local governments autonomy, that is to be on their own, I believe it will bring developments to the rural area, and people living in local governments will enjoy the government. It's not a good idea. They messed everything up. What's the stake therefore?
So if they would not move through the local government, I think it's not good. My own opinion, I don't think it's good anyway.
The issue of whether or not to completely deregulate the oil downstream sector has been in the public discourse, and expressed concern over the falling prices of crude oil and the implication on the economy. Jide Onifade has excerpts.
Discussion of fuel subsidy removal has always fallen on two sides of a coin. For instance, while socio-economic analysts like Mr. Muda Yusuf noted that with the dwindling oil prices, coupled with increasing demand for provision of infrastructural facilities, the federal government should totally remove subsidy on petroleum products to further consolidate on the transformation drives in all key sectors of the economy.
We can save the country all these resources and channel these resources.
The local government and the federal government, their share of the federal allocation, so that they will be able to use it in order to prepare for the rainy day. And diversification means having alternative industries that will fall upon since oil is falling.
While the Ekwe stressed the need for the government to invest more in making the refineries functional.
Why is subsidy? Nothing from outside. How do you even explain that we are importing fuel where we have crude oil?
Under the 2015-2017 medium proposed a subsidy budget of 971.4 billion naira for petrol and 250 billion naira for kerosene for 3 years. Funds such as this, the guest noted, could be used in NTA News.
And next on our lineup is entertainment news. Now let's talk entertainment. Nigerian actress Laide Bakare has delivered a baby boy in the U.S. The multi-talented actress gave birth at a U.S. hospital this morning. Laide is the latest mother in the Nigerian entertainment industry. Laide Bakare is one of the most active practitioners in the Yoruba section of Nollywood. Mother and child are healthy and district concert in Ghana. The concert will also hold in Nigeria over the weekend. Brad Pitt has triumphed over Ben Affleck at the American box office as his movie World War II drama titled Fury ousted Ben Affleck's Gone Girl to win the #1 spot. Ben Affleck's Gone Girl settled for second place, earning $100 million at the box office and $200 million worldwide. The Book of Life is at #3, while the best divorced. Nick and Amber Rose, who recently left her husband, Wiz Khalifa, are rumored to be dating. Nick in an interview said their relationship is a working one. And that's it on Entertainment News. News at 7 continues. In talking sports now, here's Amanze Mecca.
Our six-nation Nigeria International Badminton Championship begins in Abuja on Thursday. The countries are Uganda plus host country Nigeria. Correspondent Kaide Adeni reports that to host and win, the Badminton Federation of Nigeria built for the 4-day tournament. The event will also serve as 2016 Olympic qualifiers and enhance the world rankings of the participating countries.
We have prepared very well. We have given everything that is humanly possible to the coach, to the players. All the players are already ready for the tournament, and then we wish. I think we will do our best to make Nigeria proud.
The Confederation of African Football (CAF) on Tuesday agreed to send its officials to inspect the new Akwa Ibom International Stadium Uyo, which is in South Africa. CAF officials will inspect the venue next week as Nigeria Football Federation officials with all arrangements to have a hitch-free match between Nigeria Super Eagles and the Bafana on Wednesday, November 19. Meanwhile, A total of 40 on Tuesday. 2013 European champions Bayern Munich stormed Roma with a 7-1 emphatic victory that took them to the first position of Group E with 9 points from 3 matches. At the Camp Nou, Neymar opened the door for goals as Barcelona earned a 3-1 victory over Ajax.
Sandro screaming for it. He could put it to bed here, Sandro. Takes his time, finds the gap, finishes brilliantly.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's Super Falcons this evening qualified for the final of the African Women's Championship taking place in Falcons in the first half before South Africa pulled one back after the break. The second semi-final match in Cote d'Ivoire is going on about now. The 3 top finishers will qualify for the Women's World Cup next year in Canada, with the Super Falcons already guaranteed one of the tickets following the qualification for Saturday's finals. A forum marking in Anne's Catholic Church, Ijegun in Ikotun area of Lagos. The officiating priest, Reverend Father Joseph Unwana, said the lives and times of Remi Oyo was unique in the sense that she devoted her time. Oyo was a former chairman of the parish pastoral council. While urging the families to take heart, he urged those present to rededicate their lives to God. Family members and friends at the service spoke.
And in the way that she has lived her life, she's a role model to everyone.
I've heard things that what I would say is an inspiration to me. Important thing for everyone, a lesson from this is we all should be good and strive for the best.
A very generous person who gave more than she took. So I could just say, you know, the passing of Remy is a very sad time. So my heartfelt condolences to Vincent and to the family.
She was an epitome of love, humility and kindness to humanity. The building of that parish hall there, the one you can see there, we have a fountain there. She did all of that, and it depended on her generosity when she was alive here.
Her passing on was a big blow to us because of her importance, so to say, to the parish.
She was the patron of the choir, St. Cecilia Choir, Ijegun, and she was so nice. She was so nice. She is a mother to us. She has been very good to us, and she's always there anytime we need her.
For the late Remi Oyo comes up tomorrow at the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos. May her soul rest in peace. Amen. And that wraps it up on NTA2 News at 7. My name is Elizabeth Omori. Thanks for watching. Do have a great evening.